Good day, everyone. I am Jessamine Sparsha, and for today's video, I'm going to discuss the midterm examination in BS Ed Math 7, which focus on differential calculus. So I'll be doing it by reading the question and then choosing the right answer and explain why is that the answer of the said question. So without further ado, let's start with number one. I'm just gonna first zoom it so you can have a better view. So, um, number one, a teacher defines f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 3 and asks students to identify restrictions before graphing. Which response shows correct reasoning? So, the answer of this is letter A. Domain excludes x is equal to 3. So, because the denominator of a function must never be equal to 0. If we set x minus 3 is equal to 0, then we get x is equal to 3. And this value, the function becomes undefined. So we must exclude x is equal to 3 from the domain. That is why our answer is letter A. So we have now the number two. The question is, a student claims that the domain of f of x, the function of f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 5 is all real numbers. What misconception is present? So the correct answer of number two is letter B, ignoring negative radicand restriction. Now let us explain. In square root functions, the value inside the radical must greater than or equal to 0. So we solve x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 0, which gives x is greater than or equal to 5. The student incorrectly assumed that all real numbers are allowed. That is why the correct answer is letter B. So we have now the number 3. A function models the height of a projectile h of t is equal to negative t squared plus 6t. What is the most appropriate domain in context? So the answer of that is letter C. 0 is less than or equal to t, but um, t is greater than or equal to 0, but less than or equal to 6. Since this is a real life situation, time cannot be negative. We also find we also find when the object hits the ground by setting h of t is equal to 0. So factoring gives t times the quantity of t minus 6 is equal to 0. So t is equal to 0 or t is equal to 6. So this means the motion starts at 0 seconds and ends at 6 seconds. That is why the correct answer is letter C. So we have now the number 4. A student sketches y is equal to s- square root of x minus 2, which description of its range is correct. So the correct answer is letter A. Y is greater than or equal to 0. Now let us explain. Square root functions always produce non-negative outputs. This means the smallest value of y must be or is 0 and it increases from there. There is no maximum value. That is why the correct answer is letter A. So we have now the number 5. So which situation best explains why the domain must be restricted? So the answer of this is letter B, when dealing with square roots or denominators. Because domain restrictions happen when a functions become undefined. This occurs when a denominator becomes 0 or when a square root has a negative value inside. These situations requires us to limit the domain. That is why the correct answer is letter B. So we have now the number 6. So the number 6, a function is defined as f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 2 over x minus 4. What is the domain? So the answer is letter C. X is greater than or equal to 2 and x must not be equal to 4 because that is our restrictions since our our numerator is square root. It has a radicand sign, so it cannot be negative. So that's why our x must equal to or greater than 2 for us to attain 0 or above. So it cannot be, so the function can't be restricted. So in our denominator, x is equal must not be equal to 4 because our denominator cannot be equal to 0. That is why our x should not be equal to 4 to make the function not um to not make the function undefined. So number 7, we have this question. A teacher a teacher ask um sorry, a teacher asks students to determine the range of y is equal to x squared. One student says all real numbers. What is the correct feedback? So the correct answer is letter C, all non-negative real numbers. Because when any real number is squared, the result is always 0 or positive. This means the function cannot produce negative values. So the range is y is greater than or equal to 0. That is why our answer is letter C. So we have now in number 8. So the question is which function has a restricted domain due to logarithmic properties? So the correct answer is letter B, y is equal to ln x. Logarithmic functions are only defined for positive values. This means x is greater than 0. It cannot be because it cannot be negative again. Values of 0 or negative numbers are not allowed in logarithmic. So that is why our answer is letter B. So we are now in number 9. The question goes, a student evaluates x squared minus 4 over x minus 2 at x is equal to 2 and gets 0. What is the error? The correct answer is letter D, should factor first. I'll explain that because in substituting directly gives 0 over 0, which is undefined. So in this in this in this function or in this algebraic expression, the x squared minus 4 over x minus 2, we can factor that into x squared minus 4. The x squared minus 4 can be x minus 2 times x plus 2 using the sum and difference technique. So after simplifying that, the function becomes x plus 2 except at x is equal to 2. So yeah, because we can cancel x minus 2 and x minus 2. So that is why the correct answer is letter D. We should factor it first. So now in item number 10, the question goes, a teacher A teacher uses a table of values approaching x is equal to 1. What concept is emphasized? So the correct answer is letter um letter C. Numerical um numerical approach to limits because a table shows how values behave as they get closer to a specific point. This method helps estimate the limit value the limit without direct substitution. That is why the correct answer is letter C. So, number 11, the question is evaluate sine x over x as x approaches to 0. So the correct answer is letter B, which is 1. This is a well-known fundamental limit in calculus. As x approaches to 0, the value of sine x over x approaches to 1. That is why the correct answer is letter B. Now we are now in item number 12. Function approaches different values from left and right. What conclusion is correct? So uh, these are our choices. And the correct answer is letter C. Limit does not exist. For a limit to exist, the left hand and right hand limits must be equal. If they are different, the overall limit does not exist. That is why the answer is letter C. So we are now in number 13. A student simplifies before taking limit. Why is this important? So the answer is avoids in the indeterminate forms because if you don't simplify a function, there is a bigger tendency that your function could be in will become indeterminate will be in indeterminate form, so it will become undefined. So as what I said earlier, you should factor it first or simplify the the algebraic expressions um to uh, to help us identify or to make the limit easier to evaluate. So that is why our answer is letter C. So we are now in number 14. A teacher introduces derivatives as rate of change. Which interpretation is most accurate? So the answer is letter B, slope of tangent line. Because the derivative represents the instantaneous rate of change. This also called a slope of tangent line to the graph at a point. That is why the correct answer is letter B. So we are now in item number 15. A function represents velocity. What does its derivative represent? So the answer is letter B, acceleration. Because the derivative of velocity tells how velocity changes over time, and this is called acceleration. And now we are now in number 16. Chain rule expresses letter D, the derivative of composition, because the chain rule is used when a function is inside another function, and it helps us differentiate the composite function. And we are now in number 17. The question goes, a function is undefined at a point but limit exists. What type of discontinuity is this? So the answer is letter B, removable discontinuity. Because if the limit exists but the function is not defined at that point, the discontinuity can be removed. This usually appears as a hole in the graph. So that is why the answer is letter B. So we are now in number 18. A student evaluates a function using values less than 4. Why is this approach correct? So the answer is letter B. It determines behavior from the left. So because values less than 4 approach the number from the left side, and this help us determine the left side. We are now in number 19. So in number 19, a function is defined as f of x is equal to 2x plus 1x is greater than 15, is less than 15, minus x as x is as x is greater than or equal to 1. What is the what is the f of x? So the answer is letter B, which is 2. Because to evaluate a piecewise function, we choose the rule that matches the given condition. Substituting it into the correct expression gives the value 2. That's why our answer is 2. So number 20, a student evaluates 1 over x minus 2 using a table of values and observes that the function increases without bound from one side and decreases without bound from the other side. What is the most accurate conclusion? So the answer of this is letter B. Two-sided limit does not exist. Because if one side approaches positive infinity, and the other approaches negative infinity, the limits, then the limits are not equal. Therefore, the overall limit does not exist. So I hope you understand that. And now we are now in number 21. A graph shows a vertical asymptote. What does this imply? So the answer is letter C. Function approaches infinity. Because a vertical asymptote means the function grows without bound near the value. This indicates the function approaches infinity or negative infinity. So in number 22, a student a student asks why dividing numerator and denominator by x is useful. What is the best reason? So the answer is letter D. Simplifies behavior at infinity. Because dividing by the highest power of x helps analyze and behavior. This makes it easier to determine limits at infinity. That is why the correct answer is letter D. So we are now in number 23. Which function has a horizontal asymptote of y is equal to 2? So the correct answer is letter B, 2x plus 2x plus 1 over x. Because when degrees of numerator and denominator are equal, the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of leading coefficients. So here we have um, it is 2 over 1, which is equal to 2. That is why our answer is letter B. So in continuation in number 24, the question goes, um, the function is continuous at x is equal to a if the answer is letter C, limit equals function value. Because a function is continuous if number one, the limit exists, number two, the function is defined, and number three, the limit equals the function value. So that is why the correct answer is letter C. So to proceed in our number 25, here, let me zoom it first. Okay, number 25. Our question is, a function has a whole at x is equal to 2. What type of discontinuity is this? So the answer is removable, which is the letter C. Because this type of discontinuity can be removed by defining function properly. So the answer is letter C. Question number 26. A function has different left and right limits. What type? So the answer is jumped, letter B. Because if the left because if the left hand limits are not the left hand and the right hand limits are not equal, then the function jumps from one value to another. So this is called jump discontinuity. That's why our answer is letter B. So in number 27, which function is continuous everywhere? So the answer is letter C. F of x is equal to x squared because polynomial functions are continuous for all real numbers. Other options have restrictions such as letter A, B, and C, and D has a restriction such as divisions by zero or logarithmic limits. So that is why our answer is letter C. So number 28. A teacher asks why continuity matters in real world models. What is best response? So the answer is letter B. No no sudden jumps because continuity means smooth change without abrupt breaks. So in real life models, sudden jumps are often unrealistic. So that is why our answer is letter B. So in number 29, which scenario best represents a jump discontinuity? So number 29, our answer is letter C, sudden change in value, because a jump continuity happens when the function suddenly changes from one value to another. This creates a gap between the left and the right limits. So that's why our answer is letter C. So letter C, sudden change in value. So now we are in number 30. A teacher uses piecewise functions to illustrate continuity. Why is this effective? So the answer is letter B, demonstrates behavior out boundaries. Because piecewise functions shows how a function behaves in different intervals. They are useful for analyzing what happens at boundary points. And number 31, a student says derivative is just a formula. What should the teacher emphasize? Emphasize. The letter answer is letter D. Derivative is not just a formula, but also a graph interpretation. They represent the slopes and rates of change. And understanding graphs helps the students visualize this concept. So we are now in number 32. 32. The function is f of x is equal to um f of x is equal to x squared over x plus 1. Why not simplify before differentiating? So the answer is letter B, cannot simplify algebraically. So the expression cannot be reduced because there are no common factors to cancel. So simplification does not apply here. So we are now in item 33. I hope that you are just following me. A function model's position. Its derivative represents letter B. Again, it's velocity. Because the derivative of position with respect to time gives velocity. So velocity measures how position changes over time. That is why the answer is letter B. So we are now in item 34. A student a student gets correct derivative but incorrect simplification. What skill is lacking? And the answer is that is algebraic manipulation, letter D. Because the student understands differentiations but struggles with simplifying expressions. This indicates weakness in algebraic skills such as algebraic manipulation. That's why the answer is letter D. So we are now in number 35. For y is equal to x, for y is equal to x sine x, then the derivative of y or y prime is equal to the letter letter D, x cos x plus sine x. Yeah, so that is the correct answer. Because when we are going to manipulate this one or to find the derivatives, we will arrive at the letter D. So number 36, The question is, if y is equal to 5x over x cubed minus 4, then dy over dx is equal to letter B, which is negative 10x cubed minus 20 over the quantity of x cubed minus 4 and squared. In this problem, we can use the formula in derivatives, which is um, v v du minus u dv over v squared. Yes, so when we are going to use that formula, we will arrive at this answer, which is in letter B. So we are now in number 37. We are now in number 37. So in 37 says, find the derivative of 5x squared times the quantity of x plus 47. So in number 37, our answer is letter A, which is 15x squared plus 470x. Because if we are going to find that derivative here, we'll arrive at this answer in letter A. Yes. So our number 38, the derivative the derivative of the function y is equal to 1 over 2 sine to x is the answer. Now number 38 is the answer of number 38 is letter B, negative 4 cosecant 2x cotangent 2x, because if we are going to find this derivative, each logarithmic function or logarithmic such as cosine, cosecant, cotangent, tangent has its own derivative. So if we're going to find its derivative, um, we are going to arrive in this answer, which is in letter B. So in number 39, find dy over dx given y is equal to x squared sine 1 over x when x is not equal to 0. So 39, the answer should be letter A. When we are going to find this derivative, we'll arrive in 2x sine 1 over x minus x squared cos 1 over x. So in number 40, um, let's read the number 40. Um, the derivative of the function y is equal to 2 squared of x minus 1 over 2 squared of x is, the answer is letter C, 4x minus 1 over 4x times the square root of x. The first derivative of this should be the letter C. And number 41, if g theta is equal to tan squared 5 theta, then g prime theta is equal to letter B, 2 tan 5 theta sec squared 5 theta. Because we're just going to get the derivatives of these logarithmic functions. So I hope that is understood. And now let's proceed to number number 42. And we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. So the number 42, um, if function f of x is equal to 1x squared plus 1 and g of x is equal to square root of x, then the derivative of f of g of x is, the correct answer is letter D, which is negative 1 over x squared, the quantity of x squared plus 1 squared. Because using the chain rule of composite functions, differentiate outer function, then multiply by derivative of inner function. That is why our answer is letter D. This is a composite function. That's why we must use the chain rule. Now in number 43, find absolute value of h over h The answer is letter D. The limit does not exist because um, from the right the value is 1 and from the left the value is -1. So notice our left left and right limit does not match or they are not the same. That's why the limit does not exist. So in number 44, the question is let f of x is equal to x squared minus 5 if x is greater than, x is less than or equal to 1, and the next function is x plus 4 if x plus 4 if minus if -1 less than x if x is greater than 1 -1 and less than 2, and 3 if x is greater than or equal to 2. Find f of 2. So the answer of 44 is letter A, which is 3. Because we use the rule that applies when substituting up when substituting this, it gives the value 3. So the answer is should be 3. So we are now in number 45. The function f of x whose graph is given below, choose the correct choose the correct statement. So the answer of number 45 is letter C. F of x is right continuous at x is to equal to 3. So as you can see the graph, the graph shows the function value matches the right hand and the right hand limit at at x is equal to at x is equal to 3, and this satisfies the right continuity. That's why our answer is letter C. Now let's proceed to number 46. The graph of the function f is shown below. What Which of the following statement about f is true? So the answer is letter B. F of x is equal to 2 because from the graph, the function value at the point shown is 2. That is why the answer is letter B. So in number 47, the question is for x is not equal to 4, the function h of x is equal to x squared plus x minus 20 over x minus 4. What value should be assigned? So the answer in 47 is letter C, which is 5, because for continuity, the limit must equal to the function value. And evaluating the limit gives us the value of 5. That is why our answer is letter C. Yes. So in number 48, the graph of y is equal to x squared minus 9 over 3x minus 9. The answer is letter C. Removable discontinuity at x is equal to 3 because if we cancel the whole at x is equal to 3, it would give us the answer of letter C. Last, second to the last item, number 49. What is the derivative of y is equal to x over square root of y minus x squared? So the answer is letter A. Because using the quotient rule and chain rule, and after a simplification, the correct expression matches with the letter A, which is 1 minus 2x squared over 1 minus x squared, the quantity of 1 minus x squared to the power of 3 over 2. So we are now in number 50. Determine the points of discontinuity of f of x is equal to 3 over x plus 2x over x minus 4. So the correct answer is letter C. X is equal to 0 and x is equal to 0 and 4. Because if we notice in this, in our function, our denominator cannot be equal to 0. So that's why in this first expression, in this x, it should not be 0, and x minus 4, x should not be equal to 4. So that's why our answer matches with matches with the letter C. And And that concludes our discussion of the midterm examination in differential calculus. For this activity, we are able to review and understand key concepts such as range and domain, limits, continuity, and derivatives along with their applications. So I hope that explanations helped clearly clarify each problem that was given and strengthen your understanding about the topic. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching this video. I hope that you've learned a lot.